You know, when someone passes away, it's always a hard thing to deal with, but it doesn't end there. There's so much more to deal with before they do and then after they do. Well, we brought in some folks from Bradford, OKeefe again that are in the studio with us. Jeff OKeefe, of course, he's been in the studio with us before. Good to have you here, Jeff Jr. Jules OKeefe,
Yes,
who is with us as well this morning, and Justin OKeefe. This is definitely a family thing, and again, welcome to the show. Justin, we're going to start with you. Whenever someone passes away, they think that that's where pretty much it ends when dealing with something like that. But there's a lot to deal with in dealing with the living as well.
Right, that's right, and that's one thing that my father always stressed is that, you know, we are a service family. We take care of families, and we help them through the process from the beginning to the end and continue on. Mm-hmm. And he told me, you know, if you get a better education, you know, you can help families with living problems too,
yes,
not
sir.
just with dying problems. And
I mean, dying's all part of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're born,
absolutely.
we live, and you know, what I always say, you know, there's two things there's assured of in life, and that's, you know, paying taxes and dying.
Right.
You know, you can get away with one of them if you can go out of the country, but the other one, it's inevitable.
Yeah, that's right. So we try and help families. We try and help the caregiver of, you know, someone who's taking care of that person who's fixing to die, because a lot of times they get neglected, and they have health issues because, you know, they're stressed, they're depressed, they're anxious. They go through all these emotions while they're taking care of that person. And so we try and get out there with that family and help them organize their affairs and organize their thoughts and kind of be able to focus, you know, on taking care of the person that is passing away. And of course, once they've passed away, we don't forget about that person. We go back out and we'll see them with our aftercare program and bring them information that's helpful on grief counseling and to help them, you know, maintain a proper nutritional diet, their exercise, making sure they're sleeping properly, because a lot of times they often get neglected and forgotten about. Everybody's focused on that person that has passed away, but people forget about the person who was taking care of that person.
Right, and normally, a lot of times it is a close family, you know, a spouse, a close family member. You know, there are times when, of course, a person may be in a nursing home, and you still have, you know, the spouse that does go and see them because they can't totally take care of themselves. But there's still that need.
Right,
there's
that's
still
correct.
that need.
Yeah, and of course we're intimately involved and understand how death works. I mean, you know, we've lost our mother, their grandmother, Jules and Jeffrey, and you know, I've lost two brothers, and a few years ago, my oldest son, Jules's brother, got killed in an automobile accident at the age of 29, and so we understand all those emotions attached with death and dying, and so we try to help families who need those sorts of services and stuff.
Well, you know, here myself, you know, last year my father passed away, and just, you know, not long ago, you know, within 3.5 months, my mother passed away. And of course, they had all of their arrangements made through Bradford OKeefe, and did just a fantastic job, you know, with everything dealing before, because my parents had made the plans before as to what their needs would be taken care of. Of course, they were buried at Biloxi National Cemetery, but everything that Bradford OKeefe did, and you know, before, during, and after, you know, was just, you know, definitely hats off to you. Hats off to all of you about that and what you did. And of course, one of the big things is pre-planning. Is that right, Jules?
Yes, sir. And that's a huge service. A lot of families don't really understand what all goes into it. And, you know, it's one of those things that you want to take care of this stuff beforehand. Because, you know, I go on a lot of appointments and everything, and people are like, oh, no, let's just think about it and weigh about it. But it's one of those things, it creeps up on you a lot faster than you think about.
Right.
So it's really good to get all those affairs in line and kind of, you know, just get your mind at ease, knowing that, okay, mom and dad's taken care of, so you don't have to worry about anything. All their arrangements are done. They're all taken care of. And I mean, it's a really, really good service that, you know, we provide for the community. And, you know, we would love to come out and talk to everyone, give them some information and share it with everybody.
I mean, and there's no obligation to do that. I mean,
no,
as far
not
as
at
signing up
all.
or anything.
Not at all.
But it's very educational. Myself, having worked for a brief period of time up in Nashville as a pre-need counselor for a funeral home, you know, I know the importance of it. I know how much it takes off of your, you know, the pressure off of you, knowing that things are planned ahead of time. You know, in a situation like that, we never want to think that we're going to have to deal with that anytime soon, especially with someone young.
Yes, sir.
You hopefully you don't, but things happen. Accidents happen.
Right.
So it's something that's very important in life to give a thought to on that, isn't it, Jeff?
Absolutely. And one thing you were mentioning earlier about death and taxes being the only two things that are for certain, there's really no timeliness to knowing when any of that's going to happen. So the best time to start to look into the whole process and what all it entails would be now. And you know, earlier you had mentioned both your parents going out to Biloxi National. It's little things like that, knowing what's available to people such as veterans or, you know, different other organizations, and that's kind of really where Uncle Justin and Jules help out with the pre-need program, is making people aware of, you know, what all resources they have available to them, that they just may not be fully aware of what all that entails.
Well, again, they can call you, set up an appointment, and I mean, you've got several locations here on the Gulf Coast.
Yes, sir.
That deal with. I mean, you've got Biloxi, Ocean Springs, a couple of them in Gulfport, and
Van Cleve, we really service the entire Gulf Coast. We're not just limited to those facilities. So that's one thing that we're proud of, is, you know, having those facilities available, but having the manpower to service the entire region.
And then again, the different services that you provide. I mean, there are so many different ones, whether you want, you know, the regular burial. I mean, people didn't know when my parents were buried at Biloxi National that, you know, it was the, you know, one on top of the other, the double depth crypt thing that they were doing is how they do that out there. I mean, there's mausoleum burial, there's traditional burial, there's the cremation, and there's just so many different things that are available depending on what someone wants to do. And there's, you know, other things as well that are definitely, you know, some things that they can consider.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, I met with one family yesterday who one wanted to be cremated and the other one wanted a traditional burial, a husband and wife. And so it worked out good for us to, you know, satisfy both their needs. And both of them are, you know, very happy and satisfied that they got their wishes taken care of.
Well, there's a lot of questions I'm sure people will have, and again, the biggest thing is ease of mind that they do have, that are available. And you know, in future programs, we'll talk about some other things that you have that are very interesting. Again, we appreciate y'all coming on the show and talking about this.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, if you want some more information on pre-need planning or anything like that, and how easy it is to do, and to, you know, and the peace of mind that you do get. You call the number on the bottom of your screen there, set up an appointment, and they'll be glad to come out and talk to you, these folks from Bradford, OKeefe.